Liverpool arrive in Bergamo for what could be Jurgen Klopp's final European game in charge of the club. To avoid that happening, the Reds have to do something that's never been done before in a two-legged European tie and overturn a 3-goal deficit away from home. Europa League quarter-final, second leg, and a reminder, if you needed it, that Atalanta won the first leg 3-0 at Anfield last week. It is an 8 o'clock kickoff. A very good evening to you. Welcome along to Matchday Live. Do you believe in miracles? Because Liverpool certainly need one tonight. Plenty of belief from Gemma Bonner and from Jay Spearing. We will talk to them in just a moment. But first, let's head to the stadium and get team news for Liverpool from John Aldridge and Peter McDowell.
Yeah, welcome guys. This is the 91st European adventure for Jurgen Klopp tonight. They've come in all kinds of different shapes and sizes, but this, without a doubt, is one of his biggest, if not the biggest so far. And how he would like this fella in his team, or certainly an option, the 6th highest goal scorer in English football history with just the 330 goals. We'll talk to him about the team in just a second. Let's confirm it for you first. And it is one that shows 3 changes from the weekend defeat to Crystal Palace. So Alisson back in goal, of course, and there's that familiarity between Virgil van Dijk and Konate. Diaz retains his place as well. His 13 goals will come in handy, of course, tonight as well. Szoboszlai and McAllister continue. Mo Salah as well with his 23 goals. He's averaging a goal every 83 minutes in Europa League. He may need to improve that still further for this game tonight. Curtis Jones, Gakpo gets an opportunity as well. He's Liverpool's 3rd top goal scorer on 14. He's got 4 in Europa League. Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold are 2 wing-backs, and lots of experience amongst the bench. You instantly look to Jota, 14 goals. November of 2020, got a hat-trick here, of course. Nunes with 18, played in all of the Europa League games so far. 9 goals in 17 in European competition as well. And Joe Gomez, who will be hoping to get to his 50th European appearance for Liverpool tonight. Only 27 players in the history of the club got to those numbers, and Elliott, of course, as well. He's featured in every Europa League game, and they might need him from the bench as well. Warm welcome. It is a bit chilly, actually, pitch side here with John Aldridge. Do you feel anything in the air tonight, Aldo?
I hope so. I hope it transpires to what we want to be in the end. You know, it's going to be tough. We all know that. Yeah, I would like to see Jota in the side. Obviously, you might think he's just not up to it at the moment. But look, it's another chance, I said before, to forget what happened last week. Go out there and retract it all. It's easier said than done. Still create the chances of what we create every game, and obviously we have to take them. You know, it's as simple as that. You know, defend a little bit better. Hopefully we can get a clean sheet, one that's deserted us over the last couple of months. And maybe we'll have something to smile about at the end of the night, but it's going to be tough. You have a feeling, and we've been talking quite a lot over the last 24 hours about, you think Liverpool are one of those teams that have to start quickly to play well, and it's very obvious that a quick start is key tonight. I think so, but I think notoriously, you know, games, we are slow starters, and teams tend to come at us early on to try and catch us. You know, we've been caught a couple of times. You know, we don't want to be falling behind tonight. You know, we fell behind most games of late. You know, but look, if we do, we are capable of scoring 3, 4 or 5 goals against anyone. We've seen it before. Better teams, with all due respect to Atlanta, away from home. We'll create chances tonight. I'm pretty sure about that. It's just a matter of taking them and keeping the back door bolted.
How dangerous are a set of Liverpool players that are very eager to prove a point tonight? Yeah. Some of them individually as well.
I think so, Pete. You know, you go back to when we were playing, or any player, when you suffer a defeat like we did last week, you want to make amends. You know, you look at Liverpool fans stuck in the corner there. It's an awful place where they've been put in the corner there. But you know, they've made this journey as they do all the time. And it'd be nice, you know, to put on a show for them and give them a little bit of a hope. If we get in at half time, you know, 1-0 or you never know, 2-0, but once again, I'll say we're capable of doing. Yeah. You know, then it'll be very interesting.
How key is the midfield tonight? And when we were picking our team, and you were probably the same at home as well, they're going to need legs, aren't they? That threat on the counter that Atalanta will inevitably have tonight.
Yeah. Bad looks, probably McAllister will be the holding midfielder. Him or maybe Curtis Jones could be the other alternative. But to be fair, I'd rather Curtis go in there and let McAllister do his work, his ingenuity in behind the front three, along with Szoboszlai.
He has played there, Curtis, hasn't he, before?
Yeah, he has. He's tried them 1 or 2 times, but whoever plays there has to be disciplined, because, you know, the way they hit us on the counter-attack, and we were sucker punched a couple of times last week. You know, you've got to make sure that we got it right.
Yeah. Liverpool looking for their 21st European semi-final. Of course, it's a British record, and we've been treated to so many wonderful nights in Europe as well. And as Aldo mentioned before, the 700 Liverpool fans up there, they're starting to swell. There's lots of Liverpool fans that have made their way into the home end as well. We're hoping for one of those famous nights. We'll speak to you a little bit later on.
Yeah, we certainly are hoping for one of those famous nights. It is. Good evening to Gemma and to Jay. So then, Jay, has he got Jurgen Klopp one last miracle left in him as the Liverpool manager?
I think we're all praying so, we're all hoping so. I really believe that this could be a real special night in Europe for Liverpool. You know, the stack and the odds are probably against us massively, but we've got absolutely nothing to lose. 3-0 down from the first, like a real disappointing performance at home. You know, we can go there with obviously a few changes that Jurgen's gone on to make, and but we've got to start fast. I think that, you know, the games, we've got to really go at Atalanta, really got to cause some problems from the start and try and get an early goal to try and settle the nerves, but also put the pressure on them and try and make them feel a little bit nervous, because for me, all pressure's on them. They're the ones who, you know, are leading so well after the first game, and, you know, everything's for us to go there and cause a real upset.
It's not been done many times before, as we mentioned, Gemma, in European competition, never away from home. How significant is that Liverpool did it famously, and we'll talk about the Barcelona game, but they don't have the power of Anfield tonight to help them either?
Yeah, I think obviously the crowd will play a huge part. We've just heard there's only 700 Liverpool fans, but I think what Jurgen Klopp's done really well is instill belief into the club. That's what he did from day one, and I think coming into the game tonight, they have to have that, like Jay said, they have to start strong, and if you're not going to believe you're going to overturn it, then there's no point in playing it. The pressure is probably all on them. You know, they've said it's one of the biggest games in their club history.
The biggest, your gas brings.
Yep.
I think it's the biggest game we've ever played, which I don't know whether that actually helps players, you know, to almost pile a bit more pressure on them.
Well, I think as a player, you either thrive in them, you want to play in them, but you're also realistic that the pressure is there. For them, they're probably so close to doing something unbelievable, but I think the Liverpool players have played in enough big games, been in Europe. They know it's not going to be easy, but I think they'll have the experience within the group of what it takes. They've got big players for big moments, and they're going to need a few tonight.
There are the examples of the times it's happened before, which includes, Jay, that famous night at Anfield 5 years ago. A lot of comparisons made to that time. The one thing you would say is different is that actually that first leg at the Nou Camp, Liverpool lost it 3-0 but didn't play that badly. It needs to be a damn sight better than it was last week, because that was one of the worst performances under Klopp, you would say, and Liverpool were nowhere near it.
Yeah, it was a real difficult night from the start. I believe that, you know, we just didn't seem to get going. The passing, the way that, you know, the Atalanta came and played at Anfield, I don't think anybody probably expected it. I was, like, you know, quite surprised in the stand watching how they played their game of man-to-man mark and follow them. I think the last time that I'd seen it especially was probably Bielsa with Leeds. You know, it was a real unique way of coming to Anfield and causing like an upset. But it was one of them nights where absolutely everything that went wrong did go wrong. But I also felt that the pressure was probably on us with the home team, that we were the ones that were expected to win comfortably. You know, our passing just didn't seem to find the right time and the right weight. Everything about it, the whole night went wrong. Where if we switch it to tonight, you know, the comments from, you know, the Atalanta managers, the fact it's the biggest game of their lives, then the pressure now, their players may overthink a pass, may overthink a decision, you know, so everything's all on them to real cause an upset, and we have to go there. We have to take advantage of them hopefully feeling nervous about the game, and we have to be on the front foot, get at them from the start and hopefully score an early goal. Well,
we'll talk about it from an Atalanta perspective a bit later on, but for Liverpool, a couple of things to think about. One is that 90 minutes is a very long time, and actually, even if you're 1-0 up at half-time, if you're 1-0 up after an hour, still loads of time to get it done. They don't have to sort of rush and win this game by 8:15 tonight.
No, they don't, and you'd like to, you know, for me, I think I agree with John Aldridge and what he said, that if you go in a half-time, maybe 1-0 up, at least, or maybe 2-0, you know, or even better, like, you know, you give yourself a real good time of 45, 50 minutes of 95 minutes over a full game scenario to go on and win the game. You know, a goal can be scored within a split second of an unbelievable strike, cross, tackle, whatever. You know, so A big thing for me over the last couple of games is that we are creating an incredible amount of opportunities still. Okay, we're not finishing them off, we're not scoring 4 or 5 goals a game, but we are creating things, so there'd be a worry for me that if he wasn't creating things as well. But tonight I still think we create a hell of amount of chances, and with the changes we hope that the lads can come in and put on a performance.
You're right that a lot of it is about the chances created, and more so because of the last couple of games, but, and you're going to tell me as well from a defender's perspective, if you concede a goal tonight you can pretty much forget it. So it's all very well going forward, creating things, but they also have to be on it defensively.
Yeah, I think it's probably a bit of a risk versus reward tonight. I think defensively, the crucial is they cannot concede first, if at all. Obviously, the challenge gets bigger, and I think, but naturally, you're going to have to take more risks at some point in the game. I think, like Jay said, the amount of chances we have been creating, it is a positive, but at the same time, with the performance and the processes, they have to get that right. They've said about the turnover of possession and their use of the ball. When you're coming up against a man-marking system, you have to move them, create the spaces, and be a bit cuter with the ball and the decision-making, especially around the box in the final third. But at the same time, when you take those risks defensively, you're going to be exposed. You're going to have to win your 1v1. You're going to be exposed and challenged, probably outnumbered in situations. And I think having Konate and Virgil van Dijk tonight are going to heavily rely on them organising when in possession to, start the counter press, to nullify any threat high up the pitch, to hopefully get on the end of some of the chances.
We saw the Liverpool team. Let's just have a quick look at the Atalanta side that Gianpiero Gasperini has selected tonight. 2 changes from the side that won so impressively at Anfield a week ago. Sead Kolasinac, once of Arsenal, comes into the team, as does Alexei Miranchuk up front. Charles de Ketelaere and Mario Pasalic drop to the bench. Another quick peek then at the Liverpool team, which, as Pete mentioned, shows 3 changes from the side that were beaten by Crystal Palace on Sunday. The boys touched on it out there, Jay, the midfield, that it probably will be a deeper role for Alexis McAllister tonight. How does that change what might be expected of him?
I think that, since he's come in, I think he's shown that he can play the number 6 role, and he kind of adapted to it. A lot of people, when he first came in, expected him to be behind the strikers, creating things. But, I think over the 6 to 7 months that he's played in that number 6 position, with obviously the players that we didn't have there to play in it, I think he's made the position his own. I think, he's counter-pressed well. He builds our attacks. He has that triangle with Konate and Virgil van Dijk, and, from obviously the counter-pressing that Gemma was talking about, it gives the opportunity, especially for tonight, for Trent Alexander-Arnold, for Robertson to be flying down them sides, knowing that there's the triangle of security behind. But for me, I think he's a real clever footballer. He's a world-class footballer. He builds our attacks. He creates our attacks, but he also nullifies the opposition's attacks, and he's going to have a real important role, to do all different types of games tonight, and he's going to be a real important player. Big
night as well for Cody Gakpo, who impressed on the left-hand side when he came on against Palace on Sunday. Where do you think he's best?
For me, I think the past couple of games out on the left, we've really seen him. I think, he's probably getting a bit of stick from the fans, and he went through a bit of a bad patch in terms of his form was a little up and down. But I think, you have to realise he's been playing in several different positions, and, Jay, as a player, you want consistency, you want confidence in one position, and you kind of get those, you build the relationships and you get the connections. And I think we've really seen the past few games, he's been a real bright spark in terms of what he's been creating. He probably could have got a few more assists if we finish the chances. For me, I think he's strongest out on the left, and he looks more fluid and confident in himself. But I think maybe tonight we might see him in the 9 role. But I think all along the front 3, they have that fluidity. They can interchange positions, and I'm sure he'll have that in his mind, that he's been doing well down the left, and he wants to get at, face up, and drive at the defenders. So it might be that he doesn't stay in a fixed position, and we see him move around.
Well, those forwards have to take their chances tonight, that is for sure. If you're watching us on social media, you are about to leave us. For ways to subscribe to LFC TV, all you need to do is go to liverpoolfc.com/watch. In terms of the rest of the evening, plenty more build-up here between now and kick-off at 8. We'll hear from Jurgen Klopp and Alisson as well. Full match commentary from 8 o'clock, and then the matchday reaction with Jay and Ray Houghton from 10, providing there is no extra time and penalties. And that matchday reaction show will also be available as a podcast wherever you get your podcasts from, and you can watch the full match on TV or on Go from midnight tonight. So can Liverpool do it? No Liverpool manager has ever gone to 5 European semi-finals. If Jurgen Klopp can pull that off, it will be one of his greatest achievements ever. We're back in a minute.